Good morning students, Sairam. Now in our first three parts of this lesson, we have learnt about primary education, secondary education and higher secondary education. In that we have seen about the various policies and schemes that were implemented for the betterment of education system. We have also learnt about various organizations which were started which work for the better education system. Now today in part 4 of lesson number 5 education, we will be learning about the various research institutes which were formed in different fields, so that all the necessity requirements can be provided within the country to the people. So let's start with it. Now first what we are going to learn is about the research institutes in science. In the post-independence period in 1950, the Council of CSIR, that is Scientific and Industrial Research, was established. Now what was its main objective? Its main objective was to promote scientific research in the country and to take the benefits of the research to all people. So whatever benefits would be acquired after the research done in the scientific fields, the people in the country would be benefited with it. Research in the fields like physics, chemistry, for pharmaceuticals and food processing and mining. So research was done in the field of physics and chemistry for pharmaceuticals and also food processing and mining industries. In order that industry benefits from this research, contract was signed with the industrial institutes. So whatever research was done in the field of mining, of course the industries would be benefited with it, and so as a result a contract was signed with the industrial institutes for this case. That helps to reduce our imports and save foreign currency. So ultimately how is it going to affect? It will help us to reduce our imports and also save the foreign currency. The institute also motivated fundamental research. The laboratories of the council also played an important part in bringing back to the country students who had gone abroad for higher education. So as there were no facilities available for higher education before, so with the help of this research, it was found that the students who had gone abroad for higher education, though that education was made available in the country itself, so those students came back to their own country. The achievements of the CSIR include making the ink used for marking voters during voters' fingers during elections. So during elections and ink is marked on the finger of the voters. So this is one of the achievements of the scientific research, wherein this ink was made to mark on the fingers of the voters. Then also medicines for malaria, elephantiasis and tuberculosis, water purification technology, reduction in the same required for reduction in the time required for bamboo production. So all this research ultimately helped in the field of medicines and also in the field of industrial sectors as new inventions and new technology started coming into being. So later it was also used DNA fingerprinting for the first time in India. So it was for the first time in India that the DNA fingerprinting was used. It conducted a genetic study of the Adivasis of the Andaman and proved that those described are 60,000 years old and developed the earthquake early warning system. So you must aware, like any crime is committed, you'll see that the police, they take the fingerprints. So it is just to match with the DNA so that you can catch the thief. Similarly, in the case of excavation, if you find the remains of any animals or human being, then this DNA helps in further to find out to which period they belong to. So in this way, the scientific study has helped further. It also played an important role in the use of neem as a pesticide, use of turmeric for healing wounds, and in the case of the patents of varieties of rice. So Also, this research proved to be helpful for clearing the diseases, curing the diseases. Also, like neem, which was used as a pesticides, and also turmeric, which would heal your wound very fast, and varieties of rice could be identified. The CSIR has prepared a digital encyclopedia of Indian traditional knowledge and made it available in the 8 international languages. So, you will find that this CSIR has prepared a digital encyclopedia of Indian traditional knowledge. So, whatever knowledge was gained through this research, the traditional knowledge, an encyclopedia was available, and it was made available in 8 international languages. Okay, so accordingly you will find that this was the research done in the field of science. Similarly, the same research was done in mathematics. The National Institute for Research in the Mathematical and Physical Sciences in Tamil Nadu was established in 1962. So, what was established? National Institute for Research in Mathematics and Physical Science. Now, it encourages the highest level of research in mathematics. So, this institute helped in the highest level of research to be done in the field of mathematics. Next is the computers. 1969, the first indigenous computer named the ISUU computer, as this was achieved by the Indian Statistical Institute and Jadavpur University working together. So, in 1969, the first indigenous computer named ISUU was made, and it in cooperation with the Indian Statistical Institute and Jadavpur University together. In 1974, Tata Consultancy Services, that is TCS, obtained an American contract in the area of software production, and that was the beginning of the software industry in India. So, when was the software industry started in India first? In the year 1974, and it was again Tata Consultancy Services. It had obtained a contract from America. Then, computers also help to step up the speed of scientific research. So, as the scientific research was already carried on, with the help of the computers, it became more faster. In 1987, America refused to allow India to get a supercomputer. So, America refused to India to allow to get a supercomputer, and so the Rajiv Gandhi government decided to develop a supercomputer indigenously. So, what happened was, then as India needed help at that time, which America denied, so the Rajiv Gandhi government itself, they decided to develop a supercomputer. In 1988, the central government established the Center for Development of Advanced Computing. Okay, so that is DAC, Development of Advanced Computing, in Pune, and in 1991, the center under the leadership of Dr. Vijay Bhatkar developed the Param 8000 supercomputers. So, see, India is nowhere less in any inventions. So, as it was a challenge for India, so accordingly in Pune in 1991, the center under the leadership of Dr. Vijay Bhatkar developed Param, that is the 8000 supercomputers. Bhabha Atomic Research Center, that is the BARC. This institute has conducted valuable research in the fields of nuclear physics, solid state physics, spectroscopy, chemical and life sciences. And it has also started a school to train scientists for getting up nuclear reactors. So, this was again one more achievement in the field of science. Okay. Now, let's learn about engineering. Indian Institute of Technology, that is IIT. India's first IIT was set up at Kharagpur in West Bengal in 1951. So, when was the first IIT set up in India? 1951 at Kharagpur in West Bengal. Now, what was the objective of this institute? Was that to higher and advanced education in all branches of engineering should be available in India and meet the country's need. So that means there should be advanced education should be available in the branches of engineering to all the corners of the country, so that they could meet the needs of the country. The engineering colleges at Powai, Chennai, Kanpur and New Delhi were converted into IITs. The Soviet Union, America, Germany and the UNESCO all extended help to set up these institutes. The IITs in India were given the status of deemed universities and B.Tech and M.Tech courses were started there. So, the IITs, they started the course of B.Tech and M.Tech, and admission through entrance exam, nominal fees and reservations for students are the special features of the IIT institutions. So, what are the special features? Entrance exam, nominal fees and also reservation for students. These are the special features of the IIT institutions. In the decades from 1970 to 1980, a large number of IIT students began to leave for foreign countries, causing the brain drain crisis. So, as a result, however, the situation changed after 1990. IITs were established at Guwahati, Assam in 1994 and Roorkee in 2001. So, as I told you earlier also, people, as there were no higher education facilities available in India, were available, so they migrated to foreign countries. But then later all these services were made available within the country itself. Then is the Indian Institute of Management. As high quality engineers were graduating from the IITs, the center and the Gujarat government started the Indian Institute of Management to mold skilled managers. Now we were getting all engineers from the IIT University, and so that all need to be managed. So then the government thought of starting management courses for this, and so the Harvard Business School in America helped to set up IIM in Ahmedabad. Other IIMs have been set up at Kolkata, Bengaluru, Lucknow, Kozhikode, Indore and Shillong. So in this way, one by one we could see that various institutes were started. Then the National Institute of Design. This institute was established in Ahmedabad in 1961 for the purpose of imparting training in industrial design. So, designing maybe of machines or any textile designing. So, accordingly, the training was being provided. Courses in basic design, graphic design, product design and visual communication was started in 1963-64. So, various courses were started in this Institute of Designing. The work done by this institute includes designing of the transistor, radio and the calculator, and the logos of Indian Airlines and the State Bank of India. So, these were the various things that were designed in this institute. Later, also the Research Training Institute did a research on medicines. So, in the post-independence period in 1949, the Indian Council for Medical Research, that is the ICMR, was established for conducting research in the medical field. It was given the responsibility of cooperating with universities, medical colleges, government and non-government research institutes and giving them guidance and financial support for research activities. So, it was the responsibility of ICMR that they cooperated with the universities, medical colleges and various government, non-government institutes and provided them guidance and financial support. There were about 26 centers were started and different parts of the country for research on various diseases. Their research has made it possible to control tuberculosis and leprosy. The All India Institute of Medical Sciences, that is AIIMS, was established to give further impetus to advanced education and research in medicine. Even the colleges for undergraduates and postgraduate education in most branches of medicine, good research facilities and well-equipped hospitals are the significant features of this institute. So, all necessity requirements, the whatever were the requirements of that time, accordingly the medical facilities were made available. The institute also provided medical treatment to common people at nominal rates. It has established special colleges for training in nursing and super specialty centers for treatment of disorders of the heart, brain and eyes. So accordingly, various institutes related to the medicines on medical field were started, and wherein proper treatment was provided to the people. Now, for the further development in the medical field, the Medical Council of India was restructured in 1958 and was entrusted with the task of determining criteria for quality of medical education, its supervision and inspection. These institutes have the responsibility of conducting research on various diseases, developing tests and standardization of medicine. So now also we can see that with this pandemic, in this pandemic situation, we are not able to find the proper vaccine for this disease, and accordingly the research is done by the medical science so that it could be cured faster. Then the cancer research. The Advanced Center for Treatment, Research and Education in Cancer is a branch of the Tata Memorial Center. It functions at the national level for treatment, research and education in relation to cancer. So, it is specially for the cancer patients, wherein we could find that the treatment is provided at Tata Memorial Center. Also, research was done in agriculture. In India, research in agriculture had begun as early as 1905. The Indian Agriculture Research Institute was given the status of a university in 1958, and work began in the departments such as development of agricultural sector research, well-equipped laboratories, soil sciences, then agricultural sciences, economic botany and other departments. So also we can find that various investigation was also done in the field of agriculture. Research also began on wheat, pulses and oil seeds, vegetable and many other problems. Its most significant achievement in the fundamental research it has conducted on the methods of taking multiple crops in a year, which has been of great benefit for farmers. So instead of cultivating any one crop according to the season or seasonal crops, the research was done wherein a farmer can cultivate more than one crop, and accordingly he could be benefited. This institute maintains a library at its head office in Delhi, which is the biggest agriculture related library in the country. So children, now in today's session we have learnt about the various research institutes in the field of medicines, in the field of industry, in the field of computers, maths, agriculture, accordingly how it started progressing in different fields, and that is the result. Now we can get easily available everything conveniently. So that's all for the day. We have finished with the lesson. Thank you children.